Hello, Paparazzi, and welcome to this morning's training on your online store. I'm Jeff, and with me is AQ. Here, we're in the same room, but across from each other, but that's fine. It works out. One of the things that's very, very cool about Paparazzi Premier is you've got it set up. You've got your inventory in. You've got your shipping set up, ready to ship product. One of the things that comes along with your Paparazzi Premier app is a free e-commerce replicated store front. There you go. Yeah. That was a lot to say. Yeah, where the inventory that you've scanned in can go up for sale on your website. And so we want to show you that, how that works. And so we will turn it over to AQ. There you go.
All right. Well, the most exciting part about this gone are the days that you have to use the files from your orders when you go place your order and you get the file to import it into another e-commerce system. Gone are those days, because remember last week we showed you how the wholesale receiving and how you scan in your inventory and all of that. So hopefully you took the weekend and got that going. So we're going to talk about your online store today. So with your online store, I'm going to start in my app, in my tablet, but I'm going to eventually transition to my laptop just because for me, it's easier to navigate the storefront and the back office, what we're going to be talking about. So in your app, I'm going to be on the tablet here for just a minute. Last week, we ended up talking about inventory and everything. So that's where I'm at. That's the page I'm on. So if I go over here, we're going to talk about all of these. But the first things first is, what is your store link? How do you get it? It's right here. So settings, and then down here where it says shop.paparazzipremier.com/AndreaIsCool, right? That is my replicated site name with my Paparazzi Premier site. So this is going to be all the jewelry that I have to sell. And you see here over here on the right hand side, now I'm in an Apple tablet, an iPad, but if you use a Samsung or anything like that, know that the link to copy is on the other side as well. So if I click copy to clipboard, right, it brings it up and I can copy it anywhere. I can send it to Jeff in a text. I can post it in my Facebook group. I can send it as an email. Whatever I want to do with that copied link, I can do that now, right? So that's how you can share out that link versus if you're in an Android device, you get the plus sign for sharing. You get the little triangle thing with sharing, and you get your options there to share out, and copy link is one of them. You can send a message however you want to do it within your Android device, WhatsApp, all your communication channels you can share too. So that is your online store link. So before we transition over to the device, let's talk about the replicated site name. Now, if you did not have a replicated site name, it's automatically defaulted to your consultant ID number. So just remember that. And the dorks have put together so many videos on your replicated site name that comes from your back office. Definitely check those out because that's where the information comes from. And they talked about it last Thursday on the Dork Show too, right? Like, don't put in the full domain, don't put in the .com, all of that. One of the other things about this that you're probably wondering is about your domain. So if you have a custom domain, right? Like Jeff might have jeffsblingbrigade.com. So that's a custom domain. So if he has that, wherever he's registered his domain at, he can go and do domain forwarding and set that up so that it goes to this URL here that you see in settings. So one final thing about what you see here before we transition over to my laptop, and my screen here, is whether or not your store is open. So by default, your screens look like that, where I said online store open and it's toggled off. right? So green means good, on, golden, whatever you want to call it, versus when it's toggled off, that's the default. That means it's off. So you can still go to this link when it's toggled off, and it's in what we call a preview mode. So if you want to share this out and see what it looks like, or just click on the link to see what it looks like, you'll be able to use all of the functions of the cart in the off mode, except once you get to checkout, you can't check out. That's basically what it stops from happening if you are just wanting to see how things look and feel. So toggling it on means that you will toggle it on and you will be accepting orders from your online store. So that means all payments go through and everything comes downstream for shipping and fulfillment and all of that information. So I am intentionally not talking to you guys about the My Story or the social links just yet, because we're going to talk about those in your back office. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to move to the back office here. Or actually, I'm going to move to the cart first. That's what I have up here on my screen. So now this is my store, right? So this is what I have in my store. If I shared this out to Jeff, he could shop this link. He could browse, right? Like I'm going to click on rings. And here are all my rings. If I wanted to purchase this ring here, you have all of this information about it. You have the images that come directly from Paparazzi. So you never have to upload images. You don't have to search for images ever again. And you have all of the images that are related to that item. So if I choose to add something to the cart here, so that item is claimed. That means I had one of those items. So now anybody else browsing this only will see the out of stock message. So if Jeff went to my site and tried to buy this ring, I only had one. So it's claimed to me until I check out, and your cart remains active for 4 hours. So it's held in my cart for 4 hours. So if I'm browsing the cart, I get distracted, because my son needs me, or I forgot I was in the middle of making dinner and now I might be accidentally burning dinner. You can always come back and the item is still held for 4 hours in your cart. So that is the browsing. So if I go back here to my cart, I can continue to browse as much as I want and add it. And as soon as I want to check out, let me add another item here. So if I say I want 2 of these, oh, there we go. I only had 2. So you can see all of the items there. If I go to checkout, it is a standard checkout screen. So they're going to be very used to and familiar with checking out and paying for everything. So as I mentioned here before, that the app itself, we don't have the My Story and stuff. You don't click on in-app to edit all of that information. It actually is all going to come from your back office so that you don't have to manage 2 things, right? So you have your Paparazzi accessories replicated site, and you have your Premier online storefront, right? So your Paparazzi accessories is always going to be fulfilled by corporate, right? Like the customer special this month, you send your customers, they get the beautiful free piece if they spend $35. So that is going to stay the same, but we don't want you having to manage content in 2 different places. So we made it easy for you. So you can see all my information's there. So now if I come into my back office here where all that information is managed at, let's talk about where that information comes from. So if you come over here to my profile and you have edit my profile. Edit my profile is where you're going to manage your replicated site name, just like Jeff and Ryan showed you last week. Remember, getting the information ready for And then down here under My Story, this is where you come in and manage your story information as well. Now, you have information that's available on your store as far as your contact information. So if you come down here to contact, this is the information for how one of your customers can contact you. And the important thing to note here is that the information for this contact information comes from your back office under Premier Store Contact Info. It is not this information down here. So I want to reiterate to you guys, if you're trying to change a phone number, or you only want to display your email address, or you want your customers to know your PO box number for returns or different things like that, you are not managing it under Edit Profile. You are going to manage that under Premier Store Contact Info. So here is where you're going to edit that information. And there's something very important about your store. And I believe Jeff and Ryan touched on this in the Dork Show last week, where they were talking about it, is that for all merchant processing, they have to know where, they have to have contact information. They have to know where orders are coming from and where returns go to. That is payment processing legal requirements. So with that being said, you have to display either your phone number or an email address. So that's where you have here. You can show both, or you can only show one of those items, but you have to show at least one. So you see here, if I click off of one, it does force the other one. And you can show both. There's no harm in showing both if that's what you want to do. And then down here with your address, you have your address for where you want your customers to have information to be able to send back returns or different things like that. So this can be different than your profile information with Paparazzi, where you want your orders to be shipped to, because you know you can't have your orders being shipped to a PO box with Paparazzi. So those are the two main places that you manage your information from. And then obviously here you have your edit my profile picture if you want to change your profile picture as well. Social media links. Here's my social media link. So if I want to put in my VIP page, I can set that up here, and all of that information will carry in downstream to the app. So biggest takeaway here is managing your contact information as far as images, story, picture, your social media links. All of that is managed in your back office. You don't have to manage that in the app. One place to manage everything. One place to rule them all, kind of thing. So the final thing that you're probably wondering is your products and the categories that we were showing here. So all of this information does come from Paparazzi's information. So we get all of the images, we get the categories, everything is from Paparazzi's data. So know that that's information that's already preceded. You never have to touch it again. Now, with that being said, something that we didn't talk about last week on your receiving that we want to talk about today. So when you receive an order and you go in your app and you say, I've got all of these items, I'm going to receive them. The moment you say you receive them in app, they are immediately available in all the channels that you sell. So you can send an invoice, which we're talking about tomorrow, and they become immediately available on the website. So know that there is some order of operations that you need to think through in your business if you're doing pre-claiming or anything like that, that you will want to generate those invoices for pre-claims, and then the balance of those items are then immediately available on your website and available to be sold as well. So that's everything related to your store and your online store. So you can see here, my online store is live and it's available. You could shop it now because you don't see the preview. Up at the top, there will be a section that says preview mode only, right? That's how you know your store is not live. So how do you know that you have an order that came in from your online store? So there's 3 different things of how you know you got an order from your online store. So first things first, once I check out here, the consultant, you guys will get an email for the completed order. So you'll see that come in. It'll tell you all the details about that order. The second thing is that when you're using your Shipping Easy integration, it immediately also gets sent over to Shipping Easy for you to do the fulfillment. So the items, the weights, everything that we talked about last week with Shipping Easy, it's automatically going to be sent over at the time that that order gets completed. And the last and final way you know you have an order is I'm going to transition back over to my tablet here and show you this where it's at. Is you're going to go under the hamburger button there again. You're going to go to orders. And you're going to see here that we default to open orders. And we're going to talk more tomorrow about what you see here on this screen, but I'm going to quickly click on completed orders. And this is where completed orders come in at. So you can see all the orders that have been completed here as well. I can click on them and see what was ordered and be able to fulfill them that way. But also I have the information in Shipping Easy as well. So best of both worlds there. Join us tomorrow, because tomorrow we are going through all the ins and outs of everything in the orders and sending invoices and how all of that works, how you're going to use your card reader. So I don't want to spend too much time on that one today, just because we've already done a lot today. That was a lot to take in for today. But definitely join us for tomorrow for training on your orders and sending invoices.
Thank you. That was amazing. Keep in mind that all that is free. Your online store, all that stuff, it's included with Paparazzi Premier. So there you go. Go out there and, well, spruce it up. Get it ready to show the world. And then you can start sharing it. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out here to corporate. Our support team is amazing and they're ready to go. And don't forget to join us tomorrow for invoicing and
orders.
There you go. All right, Paparazzi, thanks for joining us this morning. And we hope you have a terrific day. We'll see you later.
Bye.